Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey y'all, I'm JJ.
Hey guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests to share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like, it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out Real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to See You Next Tuesday. I took my Adderall. It hasn't kicked in yet, so we're in for a bumpy ride.
Plus focus.
I love
gummies.
So theoretically, I should be fucking laser focused. Will I be? No. Will I am? Okay. So this was a TikTok trend a while ago, and welcome to See You Next Tuesday. This was a TikTok trend a while ago.
Wait, should we explain what See You Next Tuesday is?
What is there to fucking explain?
What is to explain is that if you've never been here before, get the fuck out.
Fuck out. No, we're being more inclusive. We're being welcoming now. Stay a while, but please don't judge us solely from this. We do things that are more structured. So if you might have heard on yesterday's episode, if you're caught up, but I'm not. No, that's not what yesterday's is. Yesterday's is Don't Blame Me. Yep. We talked about the strike and how, there are a lot of things we can't talk about. And we usually talk a lot about like things we're watching in this show. So last night when you texted me, said, don't forget we have the podcast tomorrow. I said, I did forget. So thank you so much for reminding me.
And you said, you're good at this.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if you were referring to me being good at reminding you of things.
You're good at it
just
all.
Life.
No. Well, you're good at you're good at remembering that we committed to something and then remembering that I won't remember and then reminding me.
See, here's the difference is that I remember nothing, but I write down everything. So that's the difference between us is I don't remember anything, but I do write things down. And like right now, when a few minutes ago, you were like, I don't know. No, I need to change my name in my
I already forgot
DoorDash
about that.
app. And for me, if something pops in my head, I have to immediately do it or write it down. Or I forgot it for like 5 days and it'll come back to me then.
See, my issue is I write things down, but I'll put like notifications in my calendar. I had a notification on either Thursday or Friday of this past week. And I go, what the fuck am I doing at 11 p.m.? There's nothing there. I wrote nothing there, but I have something. The night before, I get, Megan, please confirm your psychiatry appointment. I go, perfect. Thankfully, it's virtual. But like, there are times where like I will not show up to a doctor's appointment. They're like, where are you? And I go, I'm sorry, it's on my calendar for the weekend after. They go, or the week after. They're like, you just picked the wrong date. It's now. So my issue is I write things and then I don't finish writing them or I don't understand what I meant. But you're good at this. You're good at this life thing. And I'm learning.
I thought you were like, you're good at helping me.
You are. Was it? I hate to inform you that is a part of your life.
I know.
And you're very good at it.
I know.
So this is a note that I found in my phone when I was like, this is perfect because we can't talk about things that we're watching. And I was going to text you last night for you to come up with your own list. And it's a list of things I don't understand. But I thought it'd be funnier if I tell you things I don't understand and you either tell me what they are, what it is, or you make it up.
Okay. And then at the end, you have to
guess which
if I
ones
made
are
it up.
real or fake. Okay. Things I don't understand. pH levels.
Okay, so pH levels, that is how acidic or base something is.
So, but what is pH? Like, pH is...
I don't remember what pH stands for, but I just told you what it is.
But so, is that like on the periodic table?
No, it's not on a period. It's not an element. The periodic table is composed of elements, but the elements can be acidic or basic.
Okay.
Yes. And so, well, they are.
What's alkaline then?
Alkaline is
Is that in between?
Yes, but it's like, I think it's closer to a base. If you would have asked me this in 2008, I would have known exactly what this was.
Because like we're talking about our pH levels, and I go, so what pH, like to what level?
I believe you want to be like in the middle, like yeah.
But is it like
I think the
everyone's
scale is
different
to
or no?
7. Well, now we're getting into me making shit up.
Well, so that's what this game is.
So back in the day, Secret's slogan was like strong enough for a man, but pH balanced for a woman.
Don't men have pH as well?
Yeah, but they were saying it's balanced for a woman's levels. It's marketing. It was fake. It's all fake. But I do think that people do have different pH levels.
Yeah, but we're all trying to get to the same like alignment. Also, I'm hearing that hair, pH of your hair, which I just think that like science is great, but unless we're going to dumb it down, I need this in the everyday man
But
terms.
it's also a lot of pseudoscience too.
No, I agree with that. Okay, next. Is semen dairy?
No.
Why not?
Because dairy specifically has to come from a cow.
No, because goat milk.
But is goat considered dairy?
But is milk... Are all milks dairy except for non-dairy milk? So you would call goat milk still a dairy milk. The only non-dairy milk would be soy and like nut milks. I think it's that comes from a mammal.
But semen is not milk, though. It doesn't come from a mammary gland, so it's not dairy.
There's no glands there? Those are glands.
But mammary glands are specifically in your titties.
Okay.
So you don't milk
if it's
a
not
dick.
supposed to be milk, then why is the process of getting it out so similar to that of milking of an udder?
But it's not, because milking of an udder is a squeezy pull, and milking of a dick is a strokey stroke.
But in some look-wise, it does have a similar look to a squeezy
But you
pull.
can't milk like
You can't squeeze it out.
But dairy milk comes from a female cow.
Oh, that throws something in there that I had no idea, which does make it all make sense.
Yes.
But how do you feel about considering semen as dairy?
No.
Okay, I like it. Sound off.
Why? But you're dairy free, so that would upset you. So
no.
are you trying to block your
No, I'm trying to
man's semen?
No. I'm trying to not box myself in. Like I'm trying to like be optimistic that one day I will be a dairy girl.
But if you're saying like, if you're gonna go that route and say that like dairy can come from any mammal, then that means that you producing milk would make you dairy, like a dairy producer. If you had a child yourself and then you produce titty milk, then you're saying that you're a dairy producer.
I'm a personal dairy farm.
But you're not.
Well, not yet.
Now I have to know, like, is dairy, hold on.
No, I literally Googled it when I was in high school because I wondered if I was allergic to it.
But
I literally Googled, is cum dairy at like 16?
Not the cum part.
Oh.
The like, is goat milk considered dairy?
It had like...
Okay, so it does, the dairy does contain cow, water buffalo, nanny goats, and ewes.
Fucking knew it.
Okay, well, you got that one.
Thank you. Okay. The cloud.
What about it?
I don't understand the cloud.
Like,
where is the cloud? What is the cloud?
The cloud is among us.
Who came up with the cloud?
Al Gore.
Don't say that to me.
hey, I'm here just to say things. Al Gore created the cloud just like he created the internet. You know, like he
did.
And the cloud is just among us in the same way that Wi-Fi is among us. And things are just, you know, how matter is neither created or destroyed. The same thing is with the cloud. It's neither created or destroyed. But you have to buy the real estate. So like when you have like 10 gigs of real estate, then you have to buy into the real estate, but it's always there.
But are we going to run out of space in the cloud?
No, because it's neither created or destroyed, so it's always there, like matter.
This is how people make money, by saying sentences like that. And other people just give them money because it goes, I don't fucking know. Fireworks.
So fireworks are the stuff that's in gunpowder. It's gunpowder. And then you're adding gunpowder and food coloring. Dyes.
I wish there was a video to be able to see the performance to that. How popcorn was invented?
Popcorn was invented by somebody that had accidentally dried out. It was, first of all, it was invented by the indigenous people.
Without a doubt.
And the corn was dried out, and they were sitting next to a fire one day. It got a little too hot, and it went poof. And they're like, oh, wait, we got something here. And then they're like, it clearly comes from the maize, from the corn.
So we can eat it. I want a documentary. I don't need another Ted Bundy documentary. I need a fucking documentary on it doesn't have to be a documentary, just a movie on how popcorn was made.
And then now we have people that are sitting on TikToks putting
on a flat iron.
on flat irons.
That is how it was invented. Okay. Julianne Hough.
What about her?
I don't understand. Also, when I tell you all of this, a whole list makes sense. Except I have Julianne Hough. The next thing I have Derek Hough. I have no idea what my thought process was.
So Julianne Hough and Derek Hough are a brother-sister duo.
Uh-huh.
They got their start back in the early 90s in the dance ballroom scene, when they were partnered together by their parents forcing them to get in. I think their parents are also dancers.
Okay.
And had them, they were like, ooh, we want to 2 steps and trot, tot, tot, and trottly dot, bop, bop.
And skiddly dot, dot, do up.
And then ABC discovered Julianne, because is it Julianne or Juliana?
I think it's Julianne. That's what I wrote, but I don't know.
So when she was on Dancing with the Stars first, and then she was like, oh, wait, I have a brother. And then he came on. And then one time I went to Dancing with the Stars when I've actually been a few times.
Me too.
And I was out in the place where you wait, and he came out shirtless, and all the women fainted and were like, oh my gosh. And I was like, who cares? And I was the first one in line too. So, yeah, so that's them. She's done blackface before, dressing up as a character from a television show that I can't say because it is struck production. But recently people have been, namely Kimiko Glenn has come out from that TV show talking about how much money that they aren't making. She literally made 24 cents off residuals internationally, and she was in a lot of episodes.
Yep.
So that's the Huffs for me.
Wonderful. Do you think that Derek Hough has to give 10% of his money to Julianne Hough because she brought him into the Dancing with the Stars?
I think that she just always made more money than he did.
Okay. Do you think they're naturally blonde?
Yes.
Are they twins?
No.
Do you think it's possible for siblings to be born not at the same time, but to still be twins in their hearts and minds and souls?
I think that 2 people can be very close and be, connected in a way that sibling bond just transcends all.
Okay. Thank you. I feel really good at that. Weather.
So weather.
I don't know how we predict it. I don't understand it.
I don't know if you saw, but you've said on this podcast,
this is my biggest thing in the world.
Numerous times
that weather's a lie.
No, not just weather's a lie, that like when it's like 80% chance of rain, that means that it covers 80% of the area. And I didn't think that was right, but I didn't want to say it on air because I didn't want
Nothing I say is
to. I
right.
didn't want to like disrupt you, and whatever.
misquoting.
So then I one day went into a deep dive about it, and that's not true.
Isn't it
And I
80%
said-
of the area will experience it?
No, it's the chance. It's the 80% chance of rain.
Okay,
And I
a
sent
TikTok lied to me.
It did, and I sent you an article about it, and you did not respond
Probably
to
because
it.
it
So I was
didn't
like-
adhere to my worldview.
So I was like, she didn't read this. But weather, I mean, it exists. It's a lot of things. It is temperature. It is barometric pressure. It is
It was not a real word.
Yes,
What
it
was that?
is.
Barometric? Barometric.
something with a B with pressure.
The pressure part of weather is where they lose me.
Humidity.
That makes sense to me.
Precipitation.
Makes sense to me.
uh
But when they say the pressure outside, I go, what do you mean?
and yeah, so there we are, weather.
Wonderful. Aquatic evolution, like how things went from being in the sea to being out of the sea.
Well, some things are still in and out.
Like, what's an eel gonna be one day? Is it an eel just done? It's not
No, it's gonna
evolving
be
anymore.
It'll be like an iguana. Think about an iguana. They kind of look the same.
Yeah, but how did we get there? Did like one just like go onto the shore and be like, let me try and make it out here in the big city?
Yeah, and then it just kept stretching its little limbs.
So how many
until
had
it
to
hooked up.
to die in
You
order
know,
for the first
some-
one to
you
have
know,
their dreams
Some
realized in
people are-
Hollywood?
Some people are gonna have to die.
It's sad, but inevitable.
It's inevitable. So, yeah. So evolution is just how they say giraffes' necks are that longest because they used to be shorter, but then they needed to reach the leaves in the trees. So then they just kept stretching their little necks out till they got longer and longer. And now it's just normal for them.
So many giraffes put in those
Put in the
back-breaking,
hours.
neck-breaking work for the current giraffes. Just to, like, I don't even know how fucking easy they got it.
Yeah.
Wow. That feels like a lot of animosity. Electricity, but specifically how someone can legitimately invent electricity.
So there's this man called Benjamin Franklin. And
Never
he was
heard of him.
outside and he had a little kite, and then it was lightning outside, and he went zzz, and it zapped him, and he's like, "Ooh, what's that?"
That was an experiment, right? He wasn't just flying a kite for fun.
Look,
Because to me, I personally would rather believe that inventions all come from happy accidents, which then someone goes, let me figure that out, as opposed to someone being like, because like, how do you sit down and go, I'm gonna think of like,
he was just a man of many thoughts, lies, deceit, and stealing things.
that's what I mean.
And so, zzz, and then he's like, "How can I create this lightning in a bottle?" And that's where the term "lightning from a bottle"
I
comes
don't
from.
believe
And
that.
so, look, I'm just saying shit.
I,
That's the whole point of this, Megan.
here's the thing, Melissa.
Did you forget the game?
Yeah, no, but more importantly, I think you just made something up that someone else has made up that is printed in textbooks. Like, I truly, if I Google lightning in a bottle, I feel like it's going to be Benjamin Franklin.
He was like, I
You're
gotta
going to
recreate
see, like,
this.
what, like, zenquotes.com.
Lightning never strikes in the same spot twice. Have you ever tried to fly a kite? It's actually pretty hard.
Yes, but I have to say, that is a frequent pastime of Marinites and San Francisco Bay Area people, because, like, that shit is windy. Like, we
Yes.
get
Y'all are
big
right.
gusts.
That's called the Bay for a reason.
Yeah, I've seen other in like TV shows, like kids flying kites and they're running, and I go, "Why
Yeah.
are you running to fly?" Because
It's
they have
very
to get that
yes.
momentum. We didn't have to do
Yeah,
that.
well,
shit.
I was never in a windy place where I could just go out and fly kites. I remember my parents bought me kites, or bought a kite for us one time. We each got a kite, and we were just kind of standing out there, and no shit was happening. It was disappointing. But back to Franklin, so he was like, "Bzz," lightning in the bottle. I got to recreate this. And so then he went back to his lab.
I want you to know that lightning in a bottle, the first thing that comes up is lightning in a bottle tattoo. And to that I say, that's okay. You don't need to do that tattoo.
So he goes back to his lab and he's like, hey, person I've enslaved to work for me, these are my thoughts. And the person was like, okay. And they actually came up with the electricity and like how to put two protons and electrons together and atoms and then bounce like water off something that had been ignited, and then it was like bzz.
See, there's no way that the kite, like, say the kite thing, because Benjamin Franklin has a kite, like that, like him and his kite. You can't see him without his kite. Like that's his whole thing. But to me, that is a story that someone told because he's like, well, clearly this is how I discovered it. And I go, no. Someone else discovered it. You're claiming credit. So I think the kite came after.
Okay.
Thank you for that. That was very helpful. I still don't understand when you plug things into things. I think it's crazy.
Well, that's because you've got the negatives and the positive ions.
Do you think did they name those names then? Like, were they like, this is going to be this is going to be the, like, so was it, did they name them back in that day? Or did they already know about protons?
Well, they had to discover it first.
Yeah. Like, okay, so that leads me to my next thing. I don't understand how people invent things. Like, I understand now when you invent things in one of my favorite circumstances. Put me in a box and I'll tell you about this box. I'll come up with something in this box. But before there are boxes to put people in or concepts or problems to solve, we need all of these things now to So how do people invent things that are just things?
Well, there was a need for it. So when there's a will, there's a way. Which
I've never had that much will.
So, you needed you were cold and you needed some heat and you're like,
but how do I know what
here I've got
hot
listen.
Is? Okay.
So when you're cold, what do you usually do? If you're cold,
okay,
what do you
you're
do
right.
with your hands?
Yeah, you rub your hands together. So that's just like an innate thing that
so you
muscle
rub
reaction.
your hands together and it's creating energy, which is heat, because heat is a form of energy. And so when you create it, you're like, I wonder what else can I rub together and it gets warm. So you're out and you're like, what do I have here? I'm sitting out in a field and I take two grass blades and
what is that?
And I rub them together and nothing's happening. I'm like, but it's too soft. Like I can't stick it together. So I'm like,
damn, Mark Cuban over here.
So then next, I'm like, there's the tree branch. Let me like.
No, you gotta go. You have to pick the other one. You're doing that's too hard. You do too soft, too hard. Okay.
And it's like a big tree branch, and I'm like, I take it, and I'm like, okay, let me try to rub it against this other branch, and it's like, I can't do this. It's too big. Like I can't. I need to manage this more. And then as I'm doing that, a little piece breaks off. And then I was like, oh my gosh, there's two little pieces. What if I take these little pieces of this tree branch and rub it together? And I'm starting rubbing, and I see these little sparks going. And then I get nothing. And I'm like, damn it.
But I was so close.
I was so close. It's like I felt it, and then I touched the two little sticks, and I'm like, they're warm, so I know that they're making the heat. So I'm rubbing them together again, rubbing, and then a little breeze comes along, and I'm like, oh now there's some smoke.
And where there's smoke,
there's fire. So I'm rubbing again, and I'm like, ooh, I can make a little wind with my mouth. So I'm like, rubbing
with my mouth.
And then it's going and going, and it goes, but then it's like, okay, but like, where does it go? So I need more, but I'm like, I can't get all these little branches together, but what if I, get some like leaves and put it on? So I go, the leaves, it doesn't last that long, but then winter comes, and it's getting colder, and the leaves are drying up.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, whoa.
This is like a real peril in the Oregon Trail. And
Branch.
boom, your family's dead.
branch, rub, blow. Put the dry leaves there. It ignites fire, and there is fire.
Wow. So I've decided I would have died out of sheer boredom or just lack of will if I was born anytime before the gold rush. Because to me, the only thing I want to
Denver
discover
nugget.
is gold. I want to discover something like I don't want to invent. I don't want to wrap some wires next to each other and create a whole. I want to go into the creek, see something sparkly and shiny, grab it out, and put it in my little thing. And then I want to do that. That's what I want to discover.
Are we done with the list?
That's the end of it. Well, the last one on my list, I made a joke to Mats about this, and he was like, well, what's on it? And I read him the last one first, and I got bored to tears, and I can't do it again. The last one was the stock market. Don't even start. I don't want to know. I don't.
So the
I
stock
don't want to
market
know. I already did dirt.
is all these people, they get together and they're like, money.
Let's do cocaine.
What is it? What is this?
Good question.
That's a question for you. What is money? And they're like, well, money can only go so far. And so let's all gather together and use our imagination of what the money could be. Any guesses? And so then people start taking bets on businesses. And they're like, yeah, this is exactly what it is. Like, that business failed, so they're going down. But this business, it's doing good, so it's going up. And then they're like, okay, this is cool, but like, let's add some more excitement. Let's get some cocaine in this. All right.
Let's start
Here we go.
Let's start at 1 a.m. and get a fuck ton of coke.
And you know what? We're gonna add a bell. Somebody's gonna come and ring a fucking bell. We're gonna have people jumping on desks. We're gonna have people jumping off offices.
And we all have to wear suits.
Greed is good. No women allowed, because we're just guessing what the fuck is going on. All right, I'm rich. You're rich? Fake money. Here we go. Martha Stewart. She lied to the FBI. She's going to jail. Even though all of us are doing this shit all the time, breaking the law. But it's because she lied to the FBI. So then Martha goes to jail, okay? And then she comes out and she's like, I don't give a fuck about anything anymore. Yep. And now she's like, me and Snoop Dogg, we both been in jail. We're besties. We both like weed. And I'm just gonna, no more of this like clean cut. I'm still gonna be clean cut, but now I got a little edge.
White collar crime.
Yeah. So now I've been to jail and living my best life. So.
Wow. Thank you. It was so much more interesting than Mats' definition of it, because I do believe in the definition and the origin story of the stock market. To not involve the main star of the show, Martha Stewart, is a crime in itself. Mm-hmm. And that is how Jordan Belfort sold his memoir, The Wolf of Wall Street. He went into the publishing house and he said that verbatim. Exactly. He walked in there, his thick old neck, his big old arms. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm looking at the picture of his book cover. I'm thinking those look a little inflated. They're looking a little Michelin-y. And then he was, for the sequel, The Way of the Wolf. Straight line selling, which is a reference to the cocaine.
Here comes the ice cream man.
Do you think the ice cream man has read the book?
No. It's actually an ice cream lady.
Ice cream lady? I would have never said that if I knew that was a lady. I would never have. Never accuse a lady of reading that book.
Correct you.
Oh, what a cute little car! Wow. So that is my entire list.
This is fun. I want to do this again.
I literally was about to fucking text you to tell you to write your own list. I go, no fucking point. I'm just gonna have her define my list and explain it all. She'll enjoy that more. I can come up with so many lists of things I don't understand. Okay. Like, there are so many things that I just don't get.
Okay.
Like, I don't think I have, like, an iPhone face. Like, I think you could put me in, like, a dusty wig and tell me that, like, scurvy and polio are, like, an imminent threat. And, like, my face would fit in. But I don't have the brain for pre-electricity.
Stuff that I just said made up. So maybe we should take an improv class.
No, I will never take an improv class. My brain works too fast and too slow for that.
My brain usually works pretty slow, so thanks.
Phenomenal.
Focus, gummies by Ollie, sponsor us.
Please
they were
do.
sold out for a while. I don't know if you saw it when it went viral on TikTok.
I think you said our ad space was sold out, and
Not
I go,
us. Not
"Ma'am,
since
what?
2017.
Ever? Yeah.
There was a time.
That was like a couple months. I remember.
Yeah. It was.
It's nice.
But it was sold out because somebody had posted on TikTok how they were like, it really like got them going, and that's how I discovered.
Oh, amazing! I'm waiting for it to happen.
And then,
Sorry.
what was that? Were your glasses up too high and you blinked and they rolled down a little bit?
They were up too high, and then I couldn't figure out what was going. Like my depth was all off, and then they went back to their associate, and I was like, "Oh, that's what happened."
You know, if you got some bifocals, you wouldn't have this problem.
Everyone, you can't see, but I am rolling my eyes.
I'm just saying, the way that you wear your glasses, the way that Scrooge wears his glasses.
Thank you. I understand that was definitely a compliment.
At the bottom of your nose. Like, bifocals are supposed to be worn.
But bifocals, like, the other part is reading glasses. Like, am I just going to be glass? Because I don't need the ones for clothes. I take them off all the time, and I go,
And then
Melissa,
you're
where
like,
are my glasses?
I'm like, they're right there on top of your notebook.
And then I'm trying to cook, and I'm realizing I don't know where my glasses are. And today I discovered, despite having been in your home, in your kitchen, countless times, turns out I don't fit underneath
The hood.
your hood range. And
I never noticed.
I
You
got-
did clean the hood thing, and there's still one part of it that's sitting in the sink because you didn't finish it. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
been there for
I told Moz,
probably a month.
and he was like, "Does Melissa need me to do it?" And I was like, "No, she doesn't need you to do it." And also, you can clean our dishes.
The last time I had a man clean my dishes, I was not happy. This
No.
was a couple months ago. He's like, "No, I can clean. I'm good at dishes." I said, "Uh-huh." I looked at the dishes and there were still specks of food on it later. And this is why I have a 2-part cleaning system with my
Yep.
dishes. I wash them by hand and then wash them again in the dishwasher.
Yep.
Has nothing to do with my contamination issues.
No, I don't even think you have those. So I have not noticed any of that, nor have I ever told you, yeah, you definitely have that. And said, have you talked to Allison about that? And then you never responded saying, yeah, she agrees. But actually, it's never happened to us. That interaction was purely fiction. Well, I anything else you'd like to add to this episode?
No, I'm good, bruh. What
Got
about you?
Nothing else. I'm just going to be on a lookout for other things I don't understand. And the list is truly endless.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to come back with more for you someday.
Light bulbs?
The kites are more than enough in my brain for digest today.
I'm
And
just
now
saying, you can add that to the list.
now I have to show you what a lightning in a bottle tattoo looks like.
All right. Well, she's going to show me, and we're going to exit out of this. So we will see you next Tuesday.
Goodbye. Now, let us know, everyone. What do you not understand?
Welcome to the small town of Chinook, where faith runs deep and secrets run deeper. In this new thriller, religion and crime collide when a gruesome murder rocks the isolated Montana community. Everyone is quick to point their fingers at a drug-addicted teenager, but local deputy Ruth Vogel isn't convinced. She suspects connections to a powerful religious group. Enter federal agent V.B. Lauro, who has been investigating a local church for possible criminal activity. The pair form an unlikely partnership to catch the killer, unearthing secrets that leave Ruth torn between her duty to the law, her religious convictions, and her very own family. But something more sinister than murder is afoot, and someone is watching Ruth.
Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The Heresies of Redolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.
Do you love Disney? Do you love top 10 lists? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And I'm the Dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. The parks, the movies, the music, the food, the lore. There is nothing we don't cover on our show.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed.
I had Danielle and Megan record some answers to seemingly meaningless questions. I asked Danielle what insect song is typically higher pitched in hotter temperatures and lower pitched in cooler temperatures.
You got this.
No, I didn't.
Don't believe that. About a wish coming true? Well, I didn't either. Of course, I'm just a
cicada. I'm crying. I'm so sorry, Jiminy.
You win that one.
So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.